it's Rena from No Way That's Healthy. Let's make supper again. I know I'm not the only one that has some picky eaters at home, and when I serve fish, we definitely have some complaints, but let me tell you, these fish tacos are out of this world incredible. Those that enjoy fish literally are oohing and eyeing, asking for seconds and thirds, and that's when I knew I had to share it with you all. And worst case scenario, not everyone eats it, and that just means there's more for me. Now let's cook supper. For the pineapple salsa slash slaw, you're going to need pineapple, some jalapeno. You can use that if you like a little bit of a kick, some tomato, red onion, cilantro, and cabbage. Now that part's optional. You can just do that without the cabbage, but I like the crunch of that. And also, instead of pineapple, you can swap out and use mango. It works really well here. It just depends what's in season, and pineapple I could always get in a can. Starting off by chopping up the cabbage, you can do it into thin slices. You can also use a coleslaw mix here. Now you're gonna rotate it and cut it again to make it a little bit smaller. And now add that into your bowl. Next up, let's cut up the tomato. I like to rinse it and then cut off the top, cut it in half. As I cut it, not all the way down, but from one side to the other, similarly to how I actually cut onions as well. Turn it and then cut down this way. Now add that into the bowl. Keep the root intact and cut down this way, and then into little dices and into the bowl. Now I'm gonna dice up the cilantro, which I just wash and dry, and then I hold it from the root here and I sort of pull down, and the leaves will come off and you can chop it up. It's okay if there's a couple of those longer stems, that's fine. Now cilantro is a personal choice. Not everyone likes it, so you can use fresh parsley here. That works really well. And now add that into the bowl. Next up is the pineapple, and you want to use the tidbits ones. Those are a little bit smaller than what I have here, so because mine are a little bit too big, I can just give it a rough chop. Again, mango would work really well here, so just dice that up instead of the pineapple and add it in. Lastly, we're gonna do the jalapeno. That's optional, like I said, but it tastes really delicious. If you add even a small amount in there, it really adds to it. Cut it in half. Take a small amount that you're going to be using. I'm not using so much in mine. Cut it down the middle. Remove that part if you don't like it too spicy, and then you can just chop this up. You might want to wear gloves when you cut jalapeno because you don't want to touch your eyes after using this, and you might accidentally do that. Now I'm going to add in some salt, black pepper, and a little bit of lime juice if you like, and give that a mix. And that's it. The longer this sits, the more flavorful it's gonna get. And we're gonna put it to the side until it's time to serve. Time to make my favorite part of this meal, which is the avocado lime crema. For that, you're going to need a really ripe avocado. It's okay if it's brown on the outside. That just means it's going to be really ripe inside and easy to mix up. To that, we're going to add in some mayonnaise. And then, yes, you can use fresh lime juice, but I'm actually using bottled because it's hard to come by in Israel where I live, but it still tastes amazing even if you use bottled lime juice. Lastly, we're gonna add in the salt. Put that to the side or put it into the fridge until you're ready to serve. The seasoning for the fish is really important, and I like to make a nice amount of it. That way I can have it for the future. I'm using here sweet paprika, smoked paprika, and some hot paprika, which is also similar to cayenne pepper. Add that in there. I'm adding in some onion powder and garlic powder, as well as salt, pepper, basil, and oregano. Now just give that a mix. It's mixed up well, it smells great, and we're going to put it on the fish. Because we're going to be broiling the fish, I need to line my baking sheet with aluminum foil, or you can use an aluminum foil pan, and you're going to line it really well, and then you have your fish here and your seasoning. So the fish, you can use snapper, cod, halibut, tilapia, really whatever you like. Any white fish works here. I'm keeping the pieces whole because I find it's easier to just bake that way and serve that way. One tip, if you find that your fish is a little bit too fishy, number one, always use fresh fish from a great place. But if you don't, you can add a little bit of lemon juice to the fish, let it sit for a little while, and then rinse it off, and it should take away some of that fishy taste. Now just drizzle the fish with a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to toss it in the olive oil so both sides get oil on it. And now I'm going to take that spice mixture and I'm going to coat it all over the fish. Now flip it over and do the other side. And now place it onto the baking sheet. Any spots that need a little bit more, you could put a bit more on. Now I'm gonna put these into the broiler. It's been baking for a little while under the broiler, and now it's going to be flipped and put back into the oven. Check that out. Oh my goodness. Nice and crispy on the outside and blackened, which is what we're looking for. And now it's time to assemble supper. I have here some white flour tortillas. You can use corn tortillas. I'm using the smaller ones. You can use bigger if you'd like a bigger portion, or just eat many of these small ones. Now, you can char this like I did in a previous episode for my meat tacos, but you don't need to. Sometimes I do also make some rice to go inside this to make it a little more filling, but this is great just as is. First, put in some of the slaw. Flake off some of the fish. You can do it in like a piece like this, or you can break it up even further and put that on top of the slaw. Look at that, wow. Flakes up nicely, it's cooked well inside. Flavorful. And then I'm going to top it with the incredible avocado lime crema. Make it a little bit prettier with a little bit more of that slaw on top. You have the delicious, crispy and blackened fish, the crunchy and flavorful slaw, and the creamy crema on top. Make sure you comment below if you try this one. I think you're gonna really like it, and I can't wait for you to have it.